when I was 9.5 years old, a stranger said something to me, kind of changed my life. I remember I woke up in the morning, somebody shook me up, and I found a stranger standing on top of me in bed. And one of his hands grabbed onto my throat, and the other hand he's holding a bone cleaver, swinging right above my head, and he said, "You be quiet, or else I'm gonna let you have it." And that kind of changed my life, because 4 burglars went into a house and broke in their house. And at that point, I felt so helpless. And from that point on, I decided I need to practice martial art. And I was born in Hong Kong. Hong Kong, what they call Pearl of Asia, with fantastic lighting and everything, but also a lot of martial artists up there. It produced the most martial art movies, and as you can see in the market. And it's a great thing for me because martial art is everywhere. You can easily go into different style and see different things. So when I was 10 years old, I got into serious practice in martial art. The first time I practiced was judo from a YMCA, and learned how to get thrown on the ground and do joint submissions. But then also I got into a lot of Chinese martial art base, the 5 animal style, tiger claw, hawk, snake, that kind of things. Got into some crazy Chinese martial art like eagle claw, iron palms, practiced under professional Muay Thai boxer for a little while. That go a lot of elbows and knee, really truly a brutal fighting styles. Practice some Japanese martial art like karate, and also practice some Korean art like hapkidos, some joint lock submissions. And when I was 12 years old, I went to an all-Asian Taekwondo opening, and first time I saw Taekwondo was a display, and I saw people doing all kind of crazy kicks, which is mostly, I say, 80% of all martial artists nowadays, one time or the other, practice some type of Taekwondo because of dynamic kicking. And I was fascinated about it because I was born in with a very small frame. I was 4'8", about 105 pounds for like 7 years. I was a weak child. My childhood was, my mom always laughed at me because of my weak legs. So I think Taekwondo would be perfect for me. I didn't have a strong upper body. I do a lot of Chinese martial art, which require a lot of upper body strength. So I fall in love with Taekwondo. I signed up with my classmate, and the government was running school programs. So they allow all the low incomes people to practice with this 3rd-degree black belt, which is a champion of all Asians Taekwondo opening. So I got to practice with this master for about 2 years. From when I was 12 to 14, I tested for my 1st-degree black belt when I was 14 years old under WTF, World Taekwondo Federations. We do a lot of sparring, kickings, and a lot of breakings, you know. And that was a very exciting time of my life. I trained about 6 days a week, about 3 to 4 hours a day. And when I was 16 years old, I left home. I went to England, traveled around the world, went through all the European countries, see a lot of different art from the French type of boxing, the British kind of boxing, you know, all different art from different part of the world. Eventually, I came to the United States, went to Canada, eventually come to the United States. I went to my Grandmaster Dave Wong Chung. He opened the first Taekwondo studio out of Southern California. And when I met Grandmaster Dave Wong Chung, I noticed that he was very different compared to most masters. I met many master and black belts. He hold on to my hand and he put me in a joint lock. And I noticed that he only used 2 fingers. And he put so much pain out through my arms and my joints. I realized that, hey, this will be the person that I want to study with. And that's how I get into Chang Moo Kwan Taekwondo. Chang Moo Kwan is one of the 9 traditional Korean Taekwondo. And just happened that Grandmaster Dae Won Chung is chief instructor of the Korean Army of the 5th Divisions. So the style that we practice in Chang Moo Kwan is a lot more practical, is more into the military style of practicing versus the WTF, that sport sparring. And that make a very big difference for me, because when I was young, I was in the WTF, which I do a lot of sparring, do a lot of head kicks. When the time that I was 16 years old, went to England and stayed in England for 2 years, I went through a lot of different fights with a lot of people. And there are grapplers, there are judoists, there are Wing Chun styles, there are a lot of Asian styles that I fought with, and which opened my eyes, realized that I really need a practical style to practice, which make me in search of a master that will give me that particular, that I can use it to self-defense, and I think that's more important in my life, besides learning how to get out of joint lock submissions. So that's how I started. And with Grandmaster Dae Won Chung's guidance, I have trained under him for many years, got to my 2nd degree black belt. And one day, he called me up to his office, and he said to me, he said, "Wilson, you are a very good student, and if you don't teach, our art will be lost." And with his encouragement, I start teaching, because my lifetime goal is to be one of the best martial artists in the world. And that's what my interests are on. And most of the time that I spend most of my hours practicing and learning from all different arts, whatever art that is. And with his encouragement, I start teaching and have been teaching ever since. As Master Dae Won Chung's retired, I start practicing under his #1 student, Master John Wiedemann. Master John Wiedemann is the first Caucasian master that actually in our style, that trained under Supreme Grandmaster Nam Seok Lee. And because his influence from the Supreme Grandmaster Nam Seok Lee, I become part of the groups that learn the basic traditional forms from Chang Moo Kwan styles. As I practice, because my knowledge of WTF, which I do a lot of sparring, not much of forms, to a traditional martial artist that do a lot of different forms, make me understand through the years, as I practice, I lost what I have. My body changes. The way I spar, the kick that I'm good at, I'm no longer good at. But there's something that remains the same in a traditional martial art, is the form itself. And that form can carry you in a different direction. Coordinations, balance, focus, and all these good things are all involved in the traditional form. Because of that influence, so here I am today. I'm a traditional martial artist training under the direction of Supreme Grandmaster Lee, following his footsteps, and have a promise, and following the promise before Supreme Grandmaster Lee passed away, that doing the traditional form and make no changes with the traditional form that he have given us.